is Friday, August 9th. It is about 11:30. I just finished chapter 25, which is my What Wholehearted Looks Like beat. So that's pretty exciting. And I already brainstormed my epilogue, so I just have to write it. And obviously, it's an epilogue. It should be fairly easy to write. So I think I'm going to just do it. I'm just gonna try to finish this whole thing today, which would be very cool, very ahead of schedule. And especially considering like the beginning of this week, I was worried because I was sick, so I didn't feel like doing much writing. I didn't realize, I guess, how close I actually was to the end of this story. I don't know if you can hear that. It is crazy windy here. It is so weird. I was telling my partner before he left for work that it is like such a disconnect to hear the wind because it makes me think of like cold winter nights. And then I stepped outside this morning and it is still really humid because obviously it's summer. But yeah, so it's 11:30. I have my tattoo appointment at 3:45 unless, we get a tornado. There is a tornado warning. I guess that would put a damper on things. But yeah, so we're gonna be leaving here at 3. My partner, he went out, he's doing like a short day and he's gonna come back, in time to leave at 3 with me. I'm nervous, I'm super, super nervous, but I'm excited, obviously. And yeah, so I have a couple more hours. I do wanna eat something. I do wanna lift weights because I didn't really do that on Monday either because I felt so shitty, and I try to do that twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. I don't have like an extensive routine. It's very bare bones, very simple. But yeah. I also wanted to set up my new planner. I don't want to call it a bullet journal, whoops, because that's not really how I do it. But I needed a new journal. I am trying so hard to find my sweet spot in terms of a planner system and also potentially a journal system. So I'm gonna try to do, I guess, almost a Hobonichi type thing where it's like a page a day where I have space to write out my tasks, and then I can do a bit of journaling. I'm hoping that works. I want to get that set up today, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that. So for now, I'm going to snack, I'm going to lift weights, and then I'm going to try to write the epilogue, and I'm excited. I will say, I feel like I used to be, if you are new to my channel and you haven't watched any of my older videos, I used to be an extensive outliner, and I had to outline every minute detail for a story. And really, you could almost consider some of my past outlines as zero drafts themselves, although I would still have blocks where I didn't know how something would happen. I would just write that it had to happen. And that is when I would struggle, because then when I was writing, I would get to that point and I would realize, oh shit, I don't know how to make this happen, but this has to happen or else the whole outline is shot, basically. For this version of Pine Hollow, I decided to do a little bit more headlights drafting, headlights outlining, where you kind of just outline a little bit in advance and then you write that and then you outline more, and it's like a back and forth, and that allows you to be a little bit more spontaneous with your writing. And I think that really helped me. I need to have some sort of outline, some sort of basis so I know where I'm going. But there were a lot of times during this draft that I would kind of be outlining something and realizing this doesn't work. I need to brainstorm for something else to happen. And then I would re-outline the chapter, and it worked so much better. It was so much easier to write. And before, I would have never been able to do that because I would have felt like I needed to stick to my strict finished outline. So I will say that the two most valuable players for this draft have been my Alpha Smart Neo 2, allowing me to write a shitty zero draft with no guilt or hang-ups about it. It's been really fun zero drafting on this machine. And then the second one is the fact that I was doing headlights / discovery writing. I'm not 100% sure what I should be calling it because I'm sure I butchered I could butcher any explanation about them. But yeah, so those, I will say those are what I am going to credit for me writing this. I am going to do all of the things I said that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to try to write my epilogue before I have to leave for my tattoo, which I am very excited for. Also, I'm working, so I have that to, also worry about, but it's fortunately been something of a slow day thus far, so fingers crossed it stays that way. And I'm sorry I come on here looking like trash. I have a habit of picking my lip. It's the worst habit I have. I pick my finger like nails and the skin around my nails too, but my lip picking is the worst because there's no way I can hide it. It's there for everyone to see and I cannot stop. It's the one thing I cannot stop. And I hate it. If anybody has any tips on how to stop lip picking, that would be helpful, because I can stop the finger picking. I have managed to do that in the past where I have been able to train myself, and then I just fall into the old habit of picking, and I'm at a old habit now. But the lip, I have never been able to stop. I cannot stop. So if you have any tips, that would be really appreciated. But yeah, time to go do all that shit. Okay, so it's Monday, and I didn't get to film on Friday after I finished my epilogue, but it's Monday, it's the 12th, and I just wanted to come on here and say that I finished, officially. You saw it, but now I'm saying it. I finished the zero draft of the first book of Pine Hollow, like the reworked edition, and I look like shit because it's Monday morning, and I had a long weekend. But yeah, I didn't have any sort of outro for that video, and I was like, oh god, I need an outro. I am excited, but also, I guess, apprehensive, because now I have to think about revisions. And I'm going to print out this draft so that I can cross-reference with the original version on my Kindle, and then be like retyping a revised draft, the official first draft, on my MacBook in Scrivener. That is the plan. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of close out this video. I finished a lot sooner than I thought I would, and I'm just really nervous about all of the things that I know I have to fix. And I'm also trying not to obsessively think about all the new ideas I want to play with, because I don't want to fall into the habit of like not finishing things like I tend to do. But yeah, so Friday I couldn't film because I basically, like, after I finished the epilogue, my partner got home, and I'm so awkward filming when other people are home. Other people, I live with one person. I'm so awkward when he's home. And then, you know, then I was logging out of work and getting ready so that I could go and get my tattoo. I know it's like weird, but it's the One Ring script. So I had this in mind. It's basically exactly what I wanted, and I love it so much. It was like my dream tattoo. I couldn't get it before because I had really bad, like, flabby skin from my weight loss. But now that I don't have that skin anymore because of my surgery, I was able to finally get my dream tattoo. Super happy with it. It didn't hurt as bad as I was like worried. It's not a very big tattoo, but it's the most, I guess, ink I've had on me, because other than that, my second biggest one, I swear this isn't naughty. My second biggest one is my Avenged Sevenfold tattoo that I got when I was far too young, and I regret the placement of it, but I don't regret the tattoo, I just regret the placement. But that was like my biggest tattoo, and obviously that's not even a big tattoo. So this was, when you stretch it out, my biggest tattoo. So I was nervous that it was gonna hurt, but honestly, I feel like it only started to hurt once he was on this backside here, and I was like laying on my stomach with my arm like that, and that's when it started to hurt. Otherwise, it was like a slight pain that almost felt like a massage. I was literally like almost falling asleep in the chair, but I'm very happy with my shop. If anyone is on the Eastern Shore in Maryland, they're called Sellers Inc., and I definitely plan to go back when I get more tattoos, because now I want to get a shit ton more. So yeah, Friday, got my tattoo. Saturday, I finally finished painting the kitchen. My partner and I, 3 weeks ago, we've kind of started to not really remodel. We're not like taking down cabinets or anything. We just, like, we replaced hardware on he replaced it. He wanted to surprise me. He replaced hardware on some of the cabinets, and then we wanted to paint. And so 3 weeks ago, we painted the walls, and we were going to then paint the trim, but then I think the next weekend it was like D&D weekend for me. I don't remember, but we finally got the trim painted, and it took so much longer than I thought it would. But we finally got the trim painted, and he put together this kitchen hutch that I ordered, and I'm so grateful because it was a bitch to put together, and he is a trooper. But yeah, so our kitchen is coming together. We did that on Saturday, and then on Sunday, yesterday, we went and we saw Deadpool and Wolverine for a second time because we are nerds, and it was a really fun movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, you really should. But yeah, so that was my busy weekend, and that's why I couldn't film anything and why I had to come on here and film to say that I finished and I'm excited. So yeah, I don't know what's next for me apart from my revision plan. You know, I mentioned printing it out. I'm going to punch it and put it on some like happy planner rings. I have a lot I need to work on. I need to cross-reference the things I want to cross-reference to carry over the things that are good to carry over. I have scenes that I'll have to write, scenes that I wrote in brackets that need to be fleshed out and actually written. And I need to work in moments and scenes that work better from Jackson's point of view. And I need to also get rid of boring parts. I realize when I'm zero drafting, because I'm telling myself the story, I do a lot of exposition and info dumping because it's stuff that I want to remember, but it's not necessarily stuff that the reader needs to know in that moment. But I think I'm gonna give myself like a week or two to refresh my eyes from this particular story. And so I should jump into trying to work on Project Matcha Latte and giving that a better, more engaging plot. But I had an idea for another straight romance, and I would be lying if I said it wasn't inspired purely by my lust for an old grizzled Wolverine. You know, I like werewolves. Wolverine is very animalistic. It's very inspiring. And so that is my problem, is like I will have like a split second of like an inspiration for a scene or an idea that I really, really want to write. And then I don't have an actual story to like go along with that. And so I will like rush full speed ahead to work on this random scene, you know, and then I have nothing else afterwards. And then I've just kind of wasted this time doing this when I could have been working on something else. So I don't know. Plus I have all of these other ideas. I have a whole page of like ideas that I really want to write. So plus if Pine Hollow, if I am happy with, you know, book one, I have at least 3 other ideas I want to write in this series, this universe. So I have no shortage of ideas. I just have to try and figure out what I'm willing to work on in this brief period of respite before I start my revisions. And all that to say, I am going to end this vlog here. And maybe I will give myself the day to play around with a silly new fun werewolf idea about a grizzled older man who's feral, basically. I still feel like I am recovering from my bout of COVID at the beginning of last week. So I'm super tired. I still have a little bit of a dry cough, but it is what it is. I'm feeling good about finishing a draft, even if it is a zero draft and it's very not polished. And I will say, for a zero draft, I'm pretty sure it's like 60,000 words. Let me double check, because I did compile it all into one document for printing purposes. So I feel like most people, their zero drafts end up being like 10 to 15,000 words. Mine is 58,000 words. So that right there tells you that I am an overwriter, that my zero draft is almost 60,000 words. So I have a lot that I have to work on to make this a readable draft for anybody. And I'm still researching Ream stories, if that might be the way that I want to go for this book. I don't know. So yes. Again, I keep trying to disengage, but I'm disengaging for real this time. I'm going to end this vlog here. I finished my zero draft. I am looking forward to revisions in a way. I'm still very nervous about all of the things that need to be corrected, but I am still looking forward to it at the same time. I have 1,000,001 ideas that I want to work on, because if idea generating was a profession, I would be the richest person around, because I am never short on ideas. And that is because my ideas come from characters, and I love creating characters, so I am never short on ideas, and it just sucks. I need like 3 clones of me that can work on some ideas while I work on others, you know. I don't remember when I started this draft because I'm terrible. I think it was like the end of May when I started planning for this, and it's midway through August, basically, so not bad for a zero draft. Not terribly good, but not bad. Yeah, I think, like I mentioned, that my MVPs this time around were my Alpha Smart and the fact that I threw out all that I thought I knew about outlining and what I thought worked for me, because in the end, what I thought worked for me did not actually work for me. So moving forward, I'm feeling a little more optimistic. I'm curious to see how this outlining method carries over into new stories, and if other zero drafts will be just as easy on my Alpha Smart, and I will of course be documenting all of that for this channel. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you there, and if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. I'm sorry this vlog wasn't more engaging. I filmed so much last week and then I deleted a lot of it because, like I said, I started off the week with COVID, and so I was just kind of like blah and plodding along. So unfortunately, this vlog isn't that great, but how could I not post footage of me finishing this draft? So yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for always having kind words for me. I hope your writing is going well. I hope you are having fun with your writing. That's the most important thing. Do you write zero drafts? And how long do your zero drafts end up being? Because I think I'm doing it wrong. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. And thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and I'll see you next time.